Hello again. This objective has us using the modify elements, or it tells us to modify elements using align, offset, mirror, and split tools. Okay, so that's what we need to do. Let's start with align. I went ahead and placed a few walls in here just haphazardly, and talking about alignment, you can see I've got a few things that are sort of out of line there. So if I want to line those walls up to make things better for construction and planning and labor and everything else, I'm going to go to this align tool. You have to be in the modify tab for the tool that you're working with, in the modify tab, in order to do that. So let's say we're not in any tab. Okay, let's go to the modify tab, and of course we're not in the modify wall tab, but that's okay, we can still use align. And right here in the modify panel, we have the align tool. It looks like this. All right, so looking at our walls, I need to make some alignments here. So what I want to do first is I want to click on the main element of alignment, what I want it to align to. So I want to keep this wall just where it is, just like it is. So I'm going to use that as my reference. And I'm going to click here. All right, and you can see how it puts that dashed line through. And now all I have to do is click on this line that I want to be in line with that line. And then it lines it all up, and that whole wall just goes straight on through, just like that. Same here. Okay, let's say I want to keep this wall right here, so I can click right there on the inside part of that wall, and then come on and click on the inside part of this wall. Unless for some strange reason I wanted it to align with the other side of this wall, I would click that. But typically you want it to be something like that. So that's your align tool, and that can be used on absolutely anything. Comes in real handy with light fixtures, and furniture, whatever. So whatever is in the place that you want it to be, make sure you click that one first. That's going to be primary. And then of course click on whatever item you want to align to it. So that's how you would align. The next one would be offset. So let's say I needed another wall. So I was going to put a closet space or something. Actually, let's say I was going to put a closet space right in this section of this room. Not really a perfectly arranged room as far as size and everything goes, but let's say I want to, I'm going to use this wall. I'm going to offset this wall. But the thing is too about this wall, if I did that and offset it, I would be offsetting this entire wall here. So that brings us to the trim tool. Okay, or actually the split tool, split element tool. This is the split element tool. Hover over it long enough and it'll show you a little video about how it works. But I'm going to click on the split element tool, and I'm going to split these two walls apart. I'm just going to find the center of it right there. Did it take? I don't think it did. Or maybe it did. Okay, so let me click on it to see if it is now a separate entity. And it is. So that wall has been split. And one thing I want to do too to make sure that it gets split up is I'm going to go ahead and draw this line back. And then draw it back over here to the wall. And I think it just like, ooh, it automatically joined. I don't remember it doing that in the past. But let's try that again. We'll split here, and then we'll split here, because it actually joined up with this part of the wall over here as well. So now I have a separate entity. Let's see how this is going to work. All right, so I'm going to go to the offset tool right here, offset. And I want my offset, since I'm making sort of a coat closet right here, I'm going to put my offset at like 2 foot 6 inches. That should be enough. Okay, so 2 foot 6 inches. I hover over that wall, click, and then it duplicates that wall or places it right up to the top here. Okay, and you don't have to duplicate it. If I wanted to just move this wall and move it 2 foot in this way and let it be at that, then I could turn off this copy check mark right there. I could turn that off, and then it wouldn't copy, it would just move it Okay. But that's how you would use an offset. And of course, you got to see how I use split element tool. But to show you a little bit more about split element tool, when you're splitting things, always make sure you look at the direction of that dark line that you see kind of moving along with the knife. Sometimes you might be in an intersection like this and you're wanting to split between these two walls, but it actually lines up horizontally. So keep an eye on that when you do it. Sometimes it's just a very little movement that would cause it to split in that direction. Let's see, we also want to use the mirror tool. All right, so the mirror tool, and I'll just use, this is kind of an uncommon use, but I'll just use this to show you how it works. But let's say I want to mirror something. I would click on the mirror tool. You have two options. One is to choose something to mirror around, such as an axis. So I would use this option to pick an axis and mirror around that axis to make the copy of the item, or this one where I can just draw the axis anywhere I want to. Typically, you're going to be referencing some other piece of geometry when you do that. But let's go ahead and just use the regular mirror pick axis tool. Okay, and then I'm going to come down to the drawing and click on this wall that I just offset. And after I do that, I'm going to click enter to kind of move into the next phase of that operation. So now I'm ready to pick the center of this wall as my axis. As you see, it lights up with a dashed line. Okay, and it automatically does that. I could try to pick an edge if I wanted to, but it just automatically picks the center because that's logically the most likely thing that you would want to do. And of course, just click there, and now you have that wall mirrored over here on this side. Okay, and of course that too, the same way you can change from, if you don't want to copy it and you just want to, okay, I want to move it over here, then you can turn off the copy checkbox and it'll just move it instead of copying it. So that takes care of the align tool, offset tool, mirror tool, and split tools. Please leave a question or leave a comment if you have any questions below the video. Or if you're one of my students, you can email me directly. You've got my email address.